So this is the last drive of my 2024 Chevrolet Corvette Z06, Z07 convertible. Didn't think it was going to end like this. Bittersweet, but all good things must come to an end. Let's talk about it. It sounds amazing. So before we talk about the why, let's talk about the car and just my impressions. I've only driven this thing 1,100 miles. Not a lot, right? And that's going to be part of the problem. I'll talk about that in a minute. But in 6 months, 1,100 miles, and some things I love about it. I mean, the engine's amazing. The exhaust note is incredible. You just heard it. I mean, performance and handling are great. It feels good on the road. It feels comfortable. Wall of buttons, okay. The phone charger thing, not so much. I think that's kind of a weird design. It's very snappy on the paddle shifts, and you know, I love the different modes, the Z mode and all that stuff. I mean, Chevrolet did a great job with this car. I love the convenience of the hardtop convertible. You know, you saw you can do it with a remote. I mean, remote, top down and auto start is just awesome. They're doing an interior refresh here in this year, 2025 model year, which is part of the reason it's crushing the values on these things. And then the ZR1 is coming out. But as far as, you know, overall impressions, it's a great car. It's fast. It is fun to drive around. It's a fun toy. You know, it's got everything you'd expect from a, you know, almost supercar. I mean, I'd say it is a supercar, but that engine's amazing. You know, driving around, that's in sport mode. You know, you go to tour mode, I think the animations are a little bit much, but it, you know, it quiets down. We'll talk about the road noise here in a second. You know, when we go with the stuff I don't like about it, but the stuff I do like about it, I mean, it's just an amazing car. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous car. And I'm going to miss it. I really am. I'm going to miss this car. But it just was not meant for me right now. So why are we here? You know, you can tell it's a beautiful car. I loved it, but it didn't work out. And it was a mistake. I guess that's all I can really say. And when you make a mistake, you got to own up to it and stop the bleeding. I bought this car when ARCA had turned me down. I started saving money because I thought I was going to be racing at Daytona. And as you know, I tried 2022 unsuccessfully. I passed the test and I thought, okay, I'll go race at Daytona, but we could not find sponsors in time. And it just didn't work out. This year we tried finding sponsors again, had a lot of help from a lot of cool people, and could not square the corner. So this year I came off my leave of absence with the airline and was like, I'm gonna self-fund this thing. I don't need sponsors because it's just, you know, who else can you rely on but yourself? It was happening on my birthday, so I was like, this is the year it's gonna happen. And put the money together, contacted Bobby. Bobby's like, deal, let's go do this. And then he's like, well, hold on, let's see if ARCA approves. And we could not get approval from ARCA. And I was like, you know what? I wanted another Corvette that I could take to the track. And you know, the blue one, obviously it's more of a collector car, so I didn't want to drive it that much. But I still wanted to drive it, just not as much. And I thought, you know, this would be a car that I could take to the track, take Luna in, and just go do adventures with her, and then just have to drive around, convertible, and that would be all great. And that all worked out until ARCA said, hey, wait a minute, you might be able to do Talladega. And when that happened, that changed things. Kind of started me down the path of thinking about getting rid of it, and then I ended up in the hospital, and that became a big thing. So situations changed, financials changed. Financially, it changed stuff. I didn't put the miles on it to get any track days out of it. I took Luna for a ride. She didn't really like it. So with the convertible, you know, I realized the temperature window is only about 15 degrees, so that kind of didn't work out. So I started looking at the market just out of curiosity, and the values are tanking. Like seriously, hardcore. The new interior refresh gets rid of the stupid wall of buttons is coming out, and the new ZR1 is coming out. And I decided to cut my losses, and I contacted Corvette World Rob, good friend of the channel, and they are buying the car and they're going to resell it. So shout out to them, appreciate what they did. I mean, they did much better than anybody else. So So now here we are, the last ride of the Z06. Put the top up. Talk about the things I didn't like about the car. And there's not many. I mean, it's a great car. If I had unlimited garage space, that's the other thing too. You know, I've got the Yukon for Luna and for other stuff, and it had to go outside. And I know that's the first world problem, but you know, it was becoming, you know, Tetris with the vehicles and moving them around and stuff. And it just wasn't practical. It was just, you know, it was just not a great decision. It's not the smartest thing I've done. As far as the stuff I don't like, it's the noise. It's the road noise. And I'm going to show you here in a little bit. I got my Apple Watch that'll tell you the noise. You know, yeah, 77. So it's not quiet. It's not super comfortable, you know, hearing wise, but it's gotten quieter since I had it. So, I mean, I'm sure the tires see. Yeah, running 80. And of course, that's Louisiana roads too. Yeah, 83. So she's not quiet. She's gotten quieter, but I mean, what do you expect? It's a sports car. Lacking the third pedal. So the other day I drove my ZR1 and I was like, man, this is so much more fun. Because this thing you got to wind up, because it's a flat plane crank, you got to wind it up to be fun. And it's not the ZR1. I'm sorry. You know, it's not as fast as the ZR1. It's not as maneuverable as the ZR1. It's like Fat Amy versus the F-16. You know, it may have all the cool toys. It may overall be a better car, newer car, all that stuff, but it lacks the heart and soul of pushrod V8 with a supercharger, 755 horsepower, and a manual transmission. That's a race car. This is, I mean, you know, the flat plane crank high rev sounds good when it's at the high revs, but I like the NASCAR sound. You know, I like that throaty V8 rumble, not because when you're just driving around like this, if you put it in tour mode, well, that's sport mode, but if you put it in tour mode, it sounds like a four-cylinder. It just sounds like a loud four-cylinder. It doesn't have that rumble and that growl, and you know, for me, the use case is not, you know, I don't drive a lot, so you know, to the gym or whatever, you know, it's not enough to justify it. So at the end of the day, you know, the health stuff changed a lot of stuff. You know, obviously wasn't able to work my airline job as much. Kind of put me in a funk because, you know, when your body starts to fail you, you want all you're focused on is getting better. And you know, I looked at the numbers and it's like, cut my losses now and accept the mistake and move on, or, you know, double down and keep trying to force a bad position. And I think this is a bad position. So I would love to be able to have both cars. I think realistically what would be better, especially for like the channel, like this video is not going to do well. I understand that. In fact, it's going to be mostly people calling me an idiot, which maybe that's valid. You know, I don't know. At the time, I thought this was a fun and, you know, the right thing to do for my situation. And, you know, in hindsight, I don't think it was. You know, I enjoyed it while I've had it. I've enjoyed what I've done with it. I don't necessarily regret it, but I wouldn't do it again if I had the opportunity. I think Corvette's made a great car. You can hear how loud this thing is, and this is just at 50 miles an hour. The first time I drove it on the highway, I was like, damn, this thing is loud. And it's louder than my ZR1. It's louder than my Sheriff's Tahoe, which has got a kennel, and it's the biggest rattle trap on the planet. So, you know, driving back and forth to Gulfport, it wasn't a car that I would pick to take. It's probably the tires, but the tires are what make it good on the track. So, you know, I don't know. What do you do? You know, I want to thank Corvette World Rob. You know, they were cool about it, and they're definitely, you know, they're getting a good deal. Whoever buys this car is going to get an awesome deal because it's, you know, 1,100 miles, never been to the track. I put the Expel and I ceramicked it, and it's been garage kept the whole time. So, you know, I took a huge hit, and so they don't have to. Whoever's going to get this car is going to get a phenomenal deal, and, you know, lesson learned from me. You know, is it going to break me? No. Is it, you know, stinging? Yeah. Am I going to think about it for a little while? Probably. But am I going to get over it? Yeah. And, you know, move on to other things, whether that's an airplane or a helicopter or something that can actually be useful and is not redundant because of two Corvettes, which is, you know, I just don't need, and make content for the channel. You know, the channel can obviously produce income, and this is not a car that's going to do that because I'm not a car channel, and YouTube will not allow me to change, right? Like, once they pigeonhole you into something, and as much as I hate it, that's just the way it is. So, and plus, you know, I'm a deputy, I'm a sheriff's deputy. You know, the stuff that makes car content popular on YouTube is not the kind of stuff that I'm gonna do. You know, I have my own, you know, reputation and standards to uphold, and I just can't do it, you know, and to me it's not fun anyway. You know, I'll take it to the track. Track videos don't do well, so, you know, it's not gonna be a content maker, but I didn't buy it for that. I thought every now and then it'd be good. We've been doing the Sunday drives, but we can still do the Sunday drives because I've got the ZR1, which is a much better car overall for me. For now, I look at the ZR1, I'm like, damn, that's a sexy car. This is a sexy car. I think it's beautiful. I never would have gotten red, but I think this red is beautiful. But, you know, is what it is. So I don't want this to be like a Debbie Downer video. I made a mistake. I am correcting that mistake. Somebody's going to get a good deal out of this. And you know, from here, we'll see what the future holds, and, you know, we'll obviously recover and move on. And I'm sure 1,000 people in the comments are going to tell me I'm an idiot, which is good. The comments, more comments means more views, so this actually might be a popular video if enough people tell me I'm an idiot. But I already know it. Go check out Corvette World Rob. Buy this car, I guess, if you want to. You know, it's a nice car. You know, I babied it, and that's the problem. I'm not getting a lot of use out of it. So, anyway, very sad. I will miss it in a lot of ways. You know, even though I've only had it 6 months, cars always have a sentimental value. I'm always going to be a Corvette guy. I love Corvettes. I think the C8's awesome, but it's just not for me right now. Maybe in the future, who knows? You know, maybe things change, but, you know, I did not expect all the health stuff and everything just to happen all at once, and that's just the way life goes. So just pick ourselves up and move on. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Seconds. One last rev.